Hey everybody, welcome back to the garage. Today we're going to be diving into my daughter's CRF50 engine, and it's been a little bit of a process. I had a plan for it, but that didn't quite pan out. So I went ahead and I broke down the engine, cleaned out everything. There was a whole bunch of clutch material that was in there. I actually pulled the clutch apart and there were these huge deposits of clutch material, and it was like a very kind of clay-like substance. So we got all of that out, cleaned out the entire engine all the way down to the cases and the crank, reassembled, and got ready for a top end. So if you've been following along on the channel, you'll notice that I went and I bought a $26 top end from Amazon, which I was actually hoping would kind of work, at least for a little bit. The wrist pin was the complete wrong size, so I put that aside and I said, okay, I'm going to go get a T-bolt piston kit and I'm going to put that in the cylinder, because the cylinder actually looked pretty decent. All of the measurements kind of lined up, so I was like, all right, we'll use the nice fresh cylinder. I went and I assembled the entire engine. I mean, we were right there. And I went to go put in the 2 bolts that hold the cylinder to the bottom end and the head to the cylinder. And this is what happened. These holes don't line up properly with the head or the case. So if I try and tighten this up, we get to about here before it gets really snug, and it's actually misaligned with the case. And then up here, we can't even get it started because these are off center. So forget what I said about this cylinder. It is garbage. So after that, I decided I was going to go back to my original cylinder, and while I was looking at it, I managed to hang a nail on some of the scratches that were in it. So I took to eBay, found the best looking example that I could find where I could actually see the bore, and I purchased that. When it came, it was in pretty decent condition. It was ugly, but it was in good condition. But the bore was glazed. So then I went ahead and I bought a hone, and I went ahead and I honed it. So I'll leave links to all of these. There'll be cards and links in the description. The new cylinder was so ugly, there was no way I could run this. So I cleaned it up as best as I could, and I threw some paint at it. After the cylinder was all painted up, I went ahead and I assembled the engine. So sit back and enjoy the time lapse of everything coming together. And just like that, engine's back together. This will probably be the last CRF50 engine you see assembled on this channel for a while, unless I do something absolutely crazy to one of them, because I've done this like probably 4 times at this point. With the carb in a much better state than it was, I'm starting to think I really need an ultrasonic cleaner so I can get to these really nitty-gritty areas. I'm actually really happy with how well the black intake turned out too. Whatever paint was used on these foot pegs was insane. Paint stripper got most of it, but I couldn't touch some of the last little bits. I ended up just trying to light it on fire just to see if I could burn it off, and that didn't even touch it. I also ran out of black paint right as I was painting the bolts to attach the carb to the engine, so I'll have to pull those off at some point and hit those with a little bit of black. With a nice clean air filter installed, that's pretty much everything that needs to be on the engine before it goes on the bike. So we're going to get it on some jack stands, and in the next video we're going to be installing it on the frame and getting a whole bunch more work done. Thanks for hanging out with me in the garage, and I'll see you on the next one.